First Watch with Sheriff Mark Daniels on KWCD Bisbee Sierra Vista, hosted by Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
And welcome to your Friday. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone. As soon as you started, I hit the microphone and went the other way, so I wasn't having a moment.
Too bad we can't have a blooper reel.
Yeah, if we did, we'd be.
Well, let's talk about Cochise County football. It continues tonight right here on KWCD.
It does. Chris and I will be calling the game here at Buena tonight. Home game. Tucson High's coming down tonight. They're 2-1. Buena sitting at 3-0, having a good season. Took down Catalina Foothills last week. No shocker there. Catalina Foothills built a program. But this might be more of a game tonight. Tucson High, large populated school. We're in 6A football. They were very unsuccessful, so they brought them down to the 5A. So last couple of years they have not been able to do anything. This year they look like they got a little bit of momentum, but I just don't see Tucson High, even with their programs building, but it's not where it needs to be. I think Buena will go 4-0 after tonight.
And so it's going to be busy. This is kicking off the season, metaphorically speaking. So last weekend they had Oktoberfest in Sierra Vista. This weekend they have Festival of the Southwest. So it's just really busy times.
It is. I think every weekend from this point on is boom, boom, boom. And you get the Cars in the Park coming up in October. Give them a big shout out for what they do there with the Cars in the Park. Every town's having, Wilcox, Benson, you name it. There's something going on in the community. Somebody says there's nothing going on in the county. They're bored. Wow, you're not looking. There's a lot going on right now.
As a matter of fact, the county fair's coming up, and it's celebrating a big number.
The 100th anniversary of the Cochise County Fair. And we forget our county fairs, but that's the backbone of our communities. So hopefully you come out. It's 5 days this year. What, Wednesday?
Right, they start Wednesday night.
Yeah, so 5 days this year. So the opening ceremony, I believe, is going to be on Wednesday instead of Thursday. And so, again, they got I looked at the agenda. They got some pretty cool things at night, like bands. I think they got a Journey band or an 80s rock band coming in to play some songs. There's just a lot going on. And so if you're looking for something to do here next week, starting Wednesday, the 100th anniversary of the Cochise County Fair in Douglas, Arizona.
And you've been pretty busy traveling, so everybody wanted to know, what was the scoop with Dr. Phil?
Dr. Phil. I didn't know how that was going to go, but let me just say, what a nice guy. I mean, I think we've all watched one episode of Dr. Phil, if not more. And so went up and did the filming with him. His film crew filmed with us the night before. Very active evening for the border interdiction guys. Very active. In fact, one of the pursuits, I know we have Chief Cox on, was actually in the Bisbee area when they had a guy take off from them. But long story short is we filmed up there in an airport hangar in Coolidge. So we talked about the border, and it's going to be I don't want to give it all up, but it's going to be a very good show. I was very pleased, and Dr. Phil was just very welcoming to share the reality of our border. So that show's supposed to air sometime in October, probably the second, third week in October is what they're telling me. So as soon as we get it, we'll put it out to everybody and let them know. But, yeah, tune in for Dr. Phil. And he told me he's got his own network now or something. I'm not positive on all that, but there's like 20 million followers. So it'll give us a good visual of what's going on in Cochise County.
And you also visited Utah.
Yes, I went up to Utah, had a meeting in Phoenix Wednesday for my post meeting, police officer standard and training. Left there, went to Utah. They hosted us up there in Utah, St. George, Utah. If you've never been there, what an awesome place. Went to St. George, flew from Sky Harbor to St. George, did a presentation for the sheriffs, the Utah Sheriff Association, the DPS commissioner from Utah was there too, and shared our reality to them. They, like I said, they said, hey, come up, we'll take care of you, we'll put you in a hotel, all the things. And so very nice event, very nice sheriff's conference, and then flew back yesterday afternoon and back home last night. So that was a quick 24 hours.
And you also have a new appointment as a chair of the ACTIC, the Alliance to Combat Transnational
Threats. Yeah, it's the second time I've sat on this. And so I was a vice chair over the last 2 years. And so last week, went up to Phoenix last week, and then I got appointed as chair. So, and this is a group that is federal, your federal leadership, like your U.S. Attorney for Arizona, Gary, ATF director, FBI director for Arizona, all these people that are involved, Border Patrol chiefs from Yuma, Tucson, just a boatload of people. We all come together, and your sheriffs, and then we we address what we think are threats in the communities and then throughout the state. And it's kind of a unique group, but it's a very collective group, and sharing our authorities, but also sharing a mission.
And squatters' rights is something that comes up every now and then. People are confused about how they work, what they are. But we had a case this week that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, unique case, and call it a squatter, call it a crime. I like to call it a crime. I mean, squatters, we don't have a squatter law in Arizona. Everybody thinks, hey, you can go in a house, and like you see in California and New York, where they do have some unique rules, and I really wonder why they don't change them, but that's just me. But Arizona, if you break into a house without legal permission, that's a burglary. It's truly a burglary. We've talked about it on this show before. Well, an individual out there in the Double Dobie area, between Bisbee and Douglas, actually reported a burglary the day before. That somebody broke in his house, took some things. Well, we took the report. The next day, he comes home yesterday. He comes home and finds them in his house, kicking back like, hey, this is our home now. That did not go well for him. And I've talked to so many people in this county. I know my fellow police chiefs are probably addressing this too, is if you break into somebody's house, you go to jail for burglary. Forget the squatter rights. I don't know where that comes from. But here you go to jail. In this case, my deputies took them to jail, and they're sitting in our jail right now for breaking and entering, burglary, theft, you name it. So don't do it here. These other states I can't speak for, but Arizona, yeah, we take that serious.
And there's been other arrests made. Specifically, there was a custodian, groundskeeper, that was arrested yesterday for providing drugs to a student.
Right. I mean, here's a groundskeeper for a school here in the county that actually gave a 14-year-old some sort of pill. We all can imagine. The student had serious issues with it. Take it after he took the pill. He's 14 years old. Started having issues. The parents took him to the hospital, and this all came out. So we did the investigation. He's in custody now, and for some serious charges, of course. Number one, well, you can imagine. So he's sitting in our jail too right now, and that investigation continues. But yeah, it's very unique to have a school employee or somebody who works within a school to give drugs to a child. I don't, Carol, you and I haven't seen that. It amazes me. But he will pay the ultimate price for that.
And one of the things that we really need to touch on, too, to keep our community safe are scams. So there's all kinds of them consistently. And we just got another notification last night about the sheriff's office with their number spoofed, calling people saying you owe money for missing jury duty. But then in the northern part of the county, and people can't understand, if you live in Cochise County, people don't have this kind of money. But seriously, I think we saved somebody from giving $50,000 to criminals, and someone else from giving $4,000. And the scam is, hey, we've noted your activity on the dark web, and it's, child pornography or sex trafficking, and if you don't pay us, we're going to, send this out to all your friends and loved ones. And with this AI and with different methods that they use to even get into trolling people's social media accounts. That's how they get voices off of videos. That's how they use those voices to do the grandparents or the parents scheme, where it sounds like your kid is screaming for help when it's your kid's voice. I mean, they manage to manipulate all that. So if they put all of that effort that they put in trying to cheat you out of your money, they could be brilliant in actually making money for real.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And we talked about this last week. We had one of our sergeants going to the bank to drop off some money on duty. This is the Charity Ride group that's working on our Charity Ride coming up in November. But there was an individual that was on the phone talking to a scammer and saying, I won't say nothing, don't worry, I won't say nothing. And so our sergeant keyed in on that and finally asked the gentleman, why he's on the phone, are you all right? And he said, well, I got to take this money out. I missed jury duty, and I owed $3,000 to the sheriff's office, and they had spoofed our number. So it looked like we were calling him directly. And they even told him, don't call this number back. If you disconnect, we will call you because, yeah. And so thanks to my sergeant being there and actually pulling him back off the ledge, and he would have gave up $3,000 for that. So it's just incredible. Folks, they're trying, and they're very good at what they do. Like Carol just said, if it doesn't seem right, somebody's asking you for money. Government's not going to call and ask you for money. I don't care, local, state, and federal. They're not going to call and ask you for money. So if you get that call, either hang up, get a whistle, blow in their ear, whatever, you block the call, call law enforcement, your local law enforcement, and let's see if we can fix this out, because I guarantee you it's probably a scam.
So the Border Interdiction Center, which is brand new to the Sheriff's Office, is going to be dedicated in October. Tell us about that.
October 28th. That's the date we finally set. It's been pushed back for different reasons. And so October 28th at 9 in the morning, we're going to officially do our border center, name it after our Lusky brothers, and we'll talk more about that as it gets closer. But officially, October 28th is going to be the grand opening of our border center. It's a state, local, federal law enforcement center owned by and by all. So we're excited about doing that.
Finally, it's going to open.
Finally, yes. I know it's up and running. Please don't misread me when we say we're going to open it. It's already open, but we got to have that official dedication. So we're excited about that.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay. So we got our safety message of the week is about CCOM.
CCOM. Before I get to it, I got to give you my traffic stop of the week, and that is, and there was a lot of hype on that. So here earlier in the week, I was coming off MLK on the bypass. God, my mouth's not working this morning. It's been long. I got jet lag on the bypass. Well, there's a semi that, you know, when a car's just not driving right, looks like it's lost. It's weaving on the road. I mean, just everything and take a full size semi. So I follow him behind. I tried to get him behind the semi, and he wouldn't let me get behind him. He just kept slowing down. In fact, we're down to 35 miles an hour on the bypass. I wanted him to go around me so I get him behind him. He wouldn't. I almost had to go like 5 miles an hour, almost stop to get this guy to go around me. The long story short is that did happen. I get behind him, and then he switches lane on me and goes back off Coronado back into town. And some of you might have saw the stop. Getting behind him, he just can't stay in the lane. He just turned turn signals on when they were inappropriate, just all the way through. I light the vehicle up. He keeps going all the way up to MLK, where he finally stops just prior to MLK. Walk up, address myself, ask him for license registration. While he looks at me and says, I don't have any ID. And I said, no paperwork. I said, you don't have a CDL? No, I don't have a CDL, which is a commercial driver's license. You got to have a commercial driver's license if you're in the commercial business. Now, if you're driving a semi and it's not commercial, you really don't need one. It's amazing. It's kind of a goofy law there. But either way, this guy's driving a commercial vehicle. The trailer was a rental trailer. The tractor, we call him, was actually owned by the guy, allegedly by the guy. I asked for his medical card, which is a requirement to drive a commercial vehicle. Didn't have anything. He has nothing. Let's just put it right down to it. So I asked him, I said, what are you doing? And he tells me that he came down because the semi had broken down, so he came down to fix it. Got a ride down to fix it here from the Phoenix area. Well, he has no wallet. He finally shows me an ID on a driver's license. And I'm not being mean, but I'm not the biggest guy in the world. I call myself a mini. I'm very small. He's the same size. I'm looking at his driver's license. It's the same size as me, 5'6", 150. Well, if you look at this guy, he's 5'10", 250. So you can see the difference. And so I looked at him and I go, how big are you? 5'10", 5'11". What do you weigh? 250. I said, why does it say you're 150, 5'6"? That's my size. And I asked him where he lived in Vegas. He couldn't give me an address. Nothing's adding up. I said, this ain't you, is it? Well, I ran him. Sadly, if you're going to use somebody else's ID, make sure that person is not wanted and make sure he's got a valid driver's license. He had neither. He was wanted, plus he was revoked. So it just went downhill from there. It turned out to be the guy who was out of South Africa. I think Border Patrol finally took the guy. His issues being down here were for illicit gains. Let's just put it that way. I asked him where he picked the semi up. Where was the semi? I don't know, somewhere around here. You know, one of all the very general, vague stories. And when I walked away, I heard the guys told me, said, hey, I just lied to the sheriff. Can I tell you really what's going on? This guy had more problems you could throw a stick at. So I'm sure his truck was putting in pound. My interdiction guys took charge of this because there was a lot going on there with that stop. But if you saw it, that's what was going on. There were no bodies in the trailer. At least as of yet, there wasn't. We stopped that, I believe. And I asked the guy, I said, so if you came down to fix somebody's truck that was broken down, why would that person not drive it back? Where is that person? I don't know. You can see where this all goes. Nothing added up, and we're all like, so it took a little bit of time to sort this out. I never did hear what they finally ended up charging the guy with at the end, but I know he had a lot of problems.
And now we can get to your safety message with CCOM.
Yeah, CCOM. You know, one of the things I get calls on a lot is, what is our non-emergency line? Whether you're calling for Bisbee PD wherever you're calling for, Wilcox PD, Tombstone Marshal's Office, whatever it may be. The number is 520-803-3550. And we're trying to get that out more to people because people just don't know. And I get it. I mean, nobody cares about the number until you need it. So, again, 520-803-3550. We'll put that back up on our Facebook, too, and pass that along.
And what is a non-emergency? Why would you use that versus 911?
911 usually means you're in fear of life or death, or it's an in progress that you've got to get somebody there immediately, compared to a non-emergency where, like a fraud, it's already happened. There is no rush. We just need to get somebody to address the complaint. But when you need law enforcement immediately, domestic violence situation, things like that where, hey, there's an in-progress act of violence or an in-progress act that needs to be addressed, break-in, whatever it may be, those are 911 calls. And we've always said if something's going wrong, if you get 911, nobody's going to scold you. We'll redirect you if we have to.
And that's 803-3550.
Right.
Write it down. Everybody needs to memorize that one.
Sing it. You got to sing it.
That's right. We need to come up with a jingle. That's good. We'll
work
get you
on
to
that.
sing it.
No, we want people to call it.
Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, we thank you for coming and talking to us today. Invite us to football one more time tonight.
All right. Thanks, everybody. And football tonight, pre-games at 6:30 with Buena Colts and Tucson Magnet High School. Again, it'll be Buena hosting Tucson High tonight. See you then.
And, Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have Bisbee Chief of Police, Chief Cox.
First Watch on KWCD Country. It's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
Giving you an inside look to your sheriff's office. Let's go back to First Watch on KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. I'm Grady Butler. With me is Carol Kappas and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County, and thank you so much, Chief Cox from Bisbee Police Department, for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So
Tell us a little bit about yourself. That's what you're going to say?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think that we have a thing today. I don't know
We
what
do,
it is.
yes.
I'm going to stop.
My name's Tim Cox, and I'm the Chief of Police for the Bisbee Police Department. I've worked for the Bisbee Police Department for the last 6 years now, and I've been living in the Cochise County area since 1991, off and on. So it's kind of my home, and I always come back here.
So tell us, we got a special event coming up next Tuesday, and it's the first time ever in Bisbee. What do we got?
Tuesday, September 24th, starting at 5:30 in the evening, the Bisbee Police Department is going to be hosting a national night out for the community in the city of Bisbee. It's going to be a good time. If you don't know anything about National Nights Out, it's just an opportunity for the community to come out and get to meet your police department, your police force. We always invite the other agencies, the surrounding agencies throughout the county to come join us. As far as I know, I believe Sierra Vista PD, Cochise County Sheriff's Office, Wilcox PD, Benson, Tombstone, and Douglas are going to be there. It's mainly just a meet and greet, get to know the police officers, see the human side of us, as I tell people, because we're just like you. We just want to hang out and have a good time. We're going to have the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo down there. It's kind of kid-focused, kid-orientated, come and play with the cop cars, turn on the sirens, play with the lights, that kind of stuff. And our fire department's going to be there as well. And we're also having a community barbecue, I guess you can call it. We're going to be providing hamburgers and hot dogs for everybody that shows up and comes down while supplies last. I'll put that little disclaimer
There you
in
go.
there.
And this is going to be at the Bisbee Police Department?
No, sir. It's going to be what we call our Vista Park area, the Lower Vistas, which is in the Warren area of town, right across from the Warren ball field down there, where we have our high school football games and some community events. Very easy to find. You just take Bisbee Road off the traffic circle, follow it all the way down till it curves into Rupee, and poof, there you are.
All right, can't miss it. Plus, all those lights and sirens will be on, so you'll be able to find it pretty easily.
That's true. There's going to be a red and blue light show going on for a couple hours down there, so you'll be able to see it.
And also, you wanted to talk about the Bisbee Police Department is hiring right now.
That is true. Like many police departments and sheriff's agencies across the state, we find ourselves needing police officers every now and again, and we currently have some positions open. The Bisbee Police Department is going to start the process of looking at candidates and doing the testing and everything starting around the 1st of October. So if you're interested in law enforcement, or ever thought about being a police officer, feel free to jump on the City of Bisbee website. Our page is right there, and we have applications online. Fill it out, and if you meet the minimum standards to start the process, we'll give you a call and have you come out and compete with everybody else to see if you can make it.
All right, well, we thank you for coming and talking to us today. Invite everybody out to National Night Out next week.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead and invite everybody out.
Oh, you want? Okay.
One more time.
I'd like for everybody listening to come on out to our National Night Out Tuesday, September 24th, starting at 5:30 p.m. and ending around 7:30 in the city of Bisbee.
Thanks for coming and talking to us today. We look forward to seeing you next Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
And Carol, how do they get a hold of us at the Sheriff's Office?
So you can reach out. Our webpage is cochise.az.gov/sheriff. We also have our social media sites at Cochise County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Mark J. Daniels, for our Facebook, and that'll link you into our Instagram and our Twitter account, our X account.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. Keep up to date. Follow the Cochise County Sheriff's Office on Facebook. And tune in next Friday, 7 a.m. for First Watch right here on KWCD.